Happy birthday, Martin Luther King. How much we love you. It's going to be a story. Welcome back. Glad that you stopped in today. Princess ashINKele here with a story of his life. The other story was about a song that inspired him and so many others to do the right thing. This title, Happy Birthday, Martin Luther King. The author, Jean Marzallo. That's the person who wrote the book. Illustrated by J. Brian Pinkney. He's the person that drew the pictures. This is a window of a church. Dr. Martin Luther King grew up in the church. As a young boy, his father was a minister. He became a minister. And this type of window arched with stained glass is what you'll see in a lot of churches. So beautiful, so pretty. Princess ashINKele is glad to see you all here today. And I'm hoping you love to read like I do. You learn a lot of things by reading. Martin Luther King Jr. was born on January 15th, 1929, in Atlanta, Georgia. His parents loved him very much. Martin Luther King had the same name as his father, except for one thing. His father was called Martin Luther King Sr. Martin was called Martin Luther King Jr. That's a nice talk, family. The difference between being named a senior and a junior, even when it comes to schooling. More ways to talk about those two words. Martin went to elementary school, high school, and college in Atlanta. He was a good student. Later, he went to divinity school in Pennsylvania. Divinity school. Another good talk. Martin became a pastor, just like his dad, at the Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta. They were both called Reverend. The Reverend Martin Luther King Sr. and the Reverend Martin Luther King, you got it, Jr. Martin's job as a minister was to help people in need. He visited sick people in the hospital and made them feel better. He asked people not to fight with each other. He said that there were peaceful ways to solve problems. I agree. And like his father, Martin led people in prayer and song. The Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. is famous because he helped our country change some of its laws. A law is like a rule. Once there was a law in some places that said only white people could sit in the front of a bus, and that black people had to sit in the back. Martin Luther King said this law needed to be changed. Rosa Parks and other people helped him change it. Now all people can sit in any empty seat they like. Another good book talk, family, about Rosa Parks. Once there were laws in some places that said that African Americans could only use certain restaurants and drinking fountains. Martin Luther King and many other people helped change these laws. Now all people can share the same restaurants and drinking fountains. Once there was a law in some places that said that black children and white children couldn't go to school together. Martin Luther King and other people, including many very brave children, had this law changed too. Now black children and white children can go to school together. Ooh, that made me happy. Martin Luther King had a special talent for leadership. When he spoke, people listened. Poor people, rich people, white people, black people, and people from all around the world listened when Martin Luther King spoke. Many helped him work, march, sing, and pray for injustice. In the summer of 1963, Martin Luther King Jr. gave the most famous speech of his life. He gave it outdoors to 250,000 people who had come to Washington, D.C. to ask the president for jobs and freedom for black people. In his speech, Martin Luther King said that he had a dream. His dream was that people everywhere would learn to live together without being mean to one another. Martin Luther King Jr. died in 1968. Because he loved poor people so much, he was given a special funeral in Atlanta, Georgia, where he was born. His body was put in a simple farm cart and pulled slowly by 2 mules to a cemetery. Thousands of people walked behind Martin in a sad, loving parade. On his gravestone were carved these beautiful words: "Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, I'm free at last." Martin Luther King wanted people to be able to go places together, share food together, and love one another in peace. Because he worked so hard for freedom and helped so many people gain it, we honor him every year on his special day. We call this day Martin Luther King Day, and we say to him, "Happy birthday, Martin Luther King." I hope that you enjoyed this story and that your family We'll sit down with each other. All of you gather together, sit down and talk about Martin Luther King. Talk about Rosa Parks. And remember the words junior and senior. His father was a senior. He was called a junior. These are nice book talks to have, family. It helps with comprehension. Just ask them, what did you learn? Something that you learned from the story. These are very important activities that you should do together. Princess ashINKele, love you guys. Thank you for stopping by. And I'll be seeing you again real soon. I'm digging in my treasure box of goodies to find more stories to read to you. Love you.